angels on the line. The angels on the line. The angels on the line.
Good people, good people. 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 Woo-wee! What's going on, y'all? This Angel with the Angels Online. We are at season 3, episode 6, and it's Parental Loss. We got a packed house. We got one on the line with us. We're going to start with the one online. What's your name? Talk to us.
Hi, good evening. My name is Natalia,
Natalia, where you calling us from?
Orlando, Florida.
Orlando, Florida. You got an accent, Natalia?
I sure do.
Where you originally from? Tell me something.
From Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Say something in Spanish for the people. Say something in Spanish for the people, girl.
Hola, mi gente.
Oh, I don't know what that is, but set it off.
Hello, my people.
Hello, my people. Hello, good people, good people. All right, we also right here, we got in the studio with us across from me, of course, you have, go ahead, sir.
My name is Dante Cora, principal of the Cora Group here in St. Louis.
All right, and who we have next to her?
My name is Caden Phillips, and I go to Kip Triumph Academy.
All right, say that one more time for me, sir.
My name is Caden Phillips, and I go to Kip Triumph Academy.
Caden Phillips, and he goes to Kids Triumph Academy. How old are you, Caleb? Caden?
13.
Okay.
Nick Williams, a.k.a. Nicky Slices, owner of Nicky Slices Pizza Club.
The coolest pizza club in town.
In the world.
Oh, in the world. Woo! And I am Angel, CEO and founder of the Angels Online, ladies and gentlemen. Voice of the Unheard is this podcast. And today we got a special episode. Matter of fact, I'm lying. Every episode is special. Today we are talking about parental loss, which means these individuals that are guests on this episode have lost a parent in the past or in the present. The first thing I'm going to ask is, Natalia, can you tell me how you can relate to this episode? Have you lost a parent? Have you lost two parents? Tell me something.
I lost both of my parents.
How old were you when you lost both of your parents?
I was 7 when my dad passed away and 10 when my mom passed away.
Woo! All right. Oh, my goodness. Dr. Kara, tell us.
So I lost my mom
Okay.
in 2019.
What was that, 4 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
4 years ago. Okay.
Yep.
Caden, tell us. Talk to us.
So I lost my dad. I was 10.
You're 13 now, so about 3 years ago?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Nick Williams, talk to us.
I lost my mother
All right.
when I was 19,
Okay.
and then my father when I was 34, so a year ago.
Okay. So that's this recent.
Year and a half ago? Yeah.
Recent.
August.
22,
yeah.
Okay. Natalia, seeing that you lost a parents at 7 and 10, who raised you?
My grandmother.
Your grandmother. You were in Orlando, Florida?
I was in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Actually, I moved from New York when I was 10 years old to Puerto Rico.
Okay, so
And
I'm gonna stay with you. I apologize. So you were in New York, and then when your mom passed away, you ended up relocating to Puerto Rico with your grandmother out there.
my maternal grandmother.
Okay.
But my paternal grandparents, they also had shared custody.
Okay. So you were raised by both sides of your grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Question.
Go
Just
ahead.
real quick. I probably should have asked this.
Yes,
earlier.
good. Go ahead.
I mean, and this is for everybody, anybody. How have you felt about discussing this topic today? I just want to check the temperature. So
Good.
Nick, how about you?
I've learned that the best thing to do, or one of the best things for me to do, is to talk about it.
Yeah. What about you, my man?
Well, me, my daddy, he was like in and out of jail, so like I ain't had no like real relationship with him. So like when he passed, it was like that was my daddy, but like it was like not like
Yeah.
for real, cause he wasn't like in my life for real.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about talking about it today? Is it okay for you? And
Oh yeah, it's okay. Like, you know, like if my mom, like if I would have lost my mom by now, it would have been like a whole big ordeal. But like
Mhm.
my daddy, he wasn't in my life, so it was like,
Understood. 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 Thank you. And what about you, sir?
I only ask because I have literally been stressed out about this all day. I mean, like, stressed out about it because this is one of those things. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I know my mom's not alive anymore. I feel that, but it's not something I talk about. So I don't really give it much attention.
Mm-hmm.
And I have just, like, I was just talking to my sister before I came. I have been stressed out. You know, I was like, I hope this don't be sad.
I love it.
I hope this don't be sad, man. I don't feel
Mm-hmm.
like I don't feel like reliving none of that again. But I'm
Right.
just saying it's healthy.
Uh huh.
But you know, for me, people. Well, for me, I didn't handle it the correct way. I just
Mm-hmm.
moved on.
Uh huh.
So anytime I give any amount of attention to it, it always ends up very unique. So I just want to know if anybody else was stressed out or sad about it. Well, not
Well,
necessarily sad, but
well, let's ask
stressed out.
Natalia. Natalia, how did you feel about coming into this episode?
I felt good. I felt good sharing my experience.
Good, good, good. Wonderful, wonderful. I love it. I appreciate y'all for being on here. Dr. Carl always likes to chime in with random questions, and we accept him. We brought Sour Patch for him
And
today
and I thank you.
to make sure he had that, and water, plenty of agua.
Uh-huh.
I'm speaking Spanish because Natalia's Puerto Rican. You guys get that? Did you guys catch that? Woo! All right, I'm just making sure you caught that. Um, Natalia, I'm going to start with you, and I like to start with you because being at the ages 7 and 10 years old, both parents, so you were
Mhm.
raised by somebody else. So you had by both sides. So, and then not only that, you come from a different cultural background as well. So that's very important for people to understand the cultural diversity of it. Um,
Right.
how did what was your personal experience like with the parental loss? How did it shape your life growing up?
It is extremely hard because everything that I knew was now different,
Uh huh.
from language to school, friends, culture altogether.
Mm,
Uh, it's losing your parents at such a young age. You feel lost. You feel like you don't fit in.
mm. That's a big one there. That's a big one there. And you had siblings?
I did.
Mm.
My youngest sister.
And so it was two of you together going through it.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, what about you, Dante? I mean, I know you lost your mom later on, 2019. You said.
Hmm.
How did it shape you the last 4 years? Because you just told us that you didn't deal with
Yeah.
it the correct way. Which who knows if there is a correct way?
Well, no, there is a
But,
correct
well,
way.
right, but
There is a correct
but
way.
everybody's not Dr. Cara or
Correct.
Miss Ramsey. So
You know, 4 years ago I was a much different person. My life was in a much different space. Um, since my mom passed away, if I'm honest, I feel like my life has dramatically it has changed dramatically in a positive way. I mean, losing my mom, I just decided then that there was nothing else that would cause that much pain for me ever again. And it, and I hope this doesn't offend like my sister or my siblings or anybody in my family, but losing my mom gave me the freedom to live like how I wanted to live and to do things that I wanted to do that I always thought she wouldn't agree with,
mm-hmm.
and I didn't want to make her feel any kind of way. So not having her in that regard uh, gave me a certain freedom, which essentially manifested itself in other areas of my life positively, and gave me the green light and the courage to be me authentically. But other than that, I mean, it gets rough sometimes. You know, it gets a
Mm-hmm.
little difficult on those those Facebook memories that
Mm-hmm.
pop up.
Mm-hmm.
Or her birthday, which is right around the corner, or 3 weeks ago made the 4th year. So those days get difficult, and it's one of those things because like I'm the youngest,
Mm-hmm.
and I I feel like my relationship with my mom was a little bit different than how my siblings' relationship was. But you know, on those days I do feel sad, I can't call them because I don't want to make them sad. You know, I don't want to make them sad. So I kind of have to, and this is how I dealt with it. I've always dealt with it on my own. Like when my mom passed away, I took off work for one day. She passed away. I flew back to St. Louis the next day, worked remotely here up until the funeral. I took off the day of the funeral and then went back to work. So it was just like I didn't deal with it, but you know.
Mm. What about? I'm gonna move over here to Nick. Actually, how's it shaped your life? Because losing your mom at 19, you were in college at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So how did that shape your life? Because your father passed away a year and a half ago. So losing your mom, how did that shape?
Both affected me wildly different.
Mm-hmm.
When I lost my mom, I was much more still a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But that fast forwarded a lot in my life. Overnight, I pretty much dropped a lot of BS in my life.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like kind of one of those clarity moments where like you realize what's a little more important than not, and that literally happened overnight with my mom passing away, and kind of like what you were saying, like I just used college as an excuse to bury that, where I put my head in the books, both positive and negative. I put my head in the books.
Mm-hmm.
I had a very, very close circle of people, and I met you literally right after that. Like you became like you. I like became so lucky for you and the twins and like Kyle and all of us. That was literally right after that was.
Crank that.
Yeah, that was all that. So luckily, I just kind of like hunkered down into school, into books, figuring out what I wanted to do. But I also like, you college, you drink, you binge drink. By definition, that was what it was binge drinking. I mean, you knew me in college. I wasn't like wilding out like that.
Right.
But like, it definitely helped. So it was good and bad as far as like blocking out my mother passing away. Like I didn't go and seek like therapy. This was 2007, 2006.
Yep.
So like that, like mental health was not what it was now.
Correct.
Like,
That's correct.
It just wasn't as cool as it is now. Like whether you want to say it like that or not. So like that just wasn't a thing. It was like bury your head in books and kick it with friends and just stay busy. So you didn't have to stop and think about that kind of stuff.
That's what it is. Stay busy.
Yeah.
Then we'll get to your dad in another question because that shaped you right there. That's what you did and whatnot up until
both
total opposites.
Total, I wouldn't say opposites, but I learned how to deal. I like you were saying, there's a correct way and a other way to deal with your parent passing away or a loved one passing away, and I got like a fresh start with this one with my pops. So that one I handled totally different. I was also a grown ass man.
Correct.
Man going through that. I was barely 19 when my mom passed away.
Straight out of high school.
Yeah.
Almost. Caden, I know your response will be different because you're 13 and you lost him when you were 10, right? How did it shape your life? And you can go with you can go ahead. You can talk about your what you got from him, and what you started doing and how you doing now. How did it shape your life, losing your dad?
So like when I lost my dad, my mom had told me, and then it was like I just like put it off to the side. It was like, okay, it's like my dad just died, but like I said, he really wasn't in my life. So like when he died, it was like I just like it was like inside of me, but like I ain't like cry nothing. I just kept it inside of me. So then like I started doing like stuff just
Go
doing
ahead. This is the
doing.
Angels Online, baby. Go ahead.
I just started like doing stuff after he passed, and then it got me to trouble and stuff like that.
Uh huh.
And then now like it was like that's like the past, and like I'm moving on with like bigger and better things
The
now.
trouble got you in the situations that made you realize you don't want to be that way. You don't want to go down that path.
No, I ain't want to do
You
it
didn't
no
want to be
more.
like him. Is that what it? What is it? What was it?
It was like cause my mama she kept telling me like it was like either you was gonna do this or you was gonna be like your daddy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and I had thought about it, and then I was like, I ain't want to be like him, going in and out of jail and stuff like that.
Okay.
Very good.
Good. Good. Good. Make sure you're talking to that mic. It ain't gonna bite you. Don't worry about it. Wonderful. I love it. I love it. Um, Natalia? Did you find support and
I
during your grieving process? You know, who did you lean on for support in that time? Because that was a long time ago. So
well, I didn't get no help till I was probably 14 years old.
okay, 4 years later.
So right, those 4 years were. I mean, when I came to Florida to visit my grandparents, uh, it was more peaceful and it was more guidance. It was more love. They spent more time. So that the summertime and Christmas was like a temporary suppression of what I felt. But while I was in the island and battling, learning everything was new, it was hard because I didn't have no one.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandmother, she was dealing with alcoholism, so that took a toll at home. So I didn't have no one.
Mm.
Just me and my sister. That's it.
So you got to Florida piece by piece. Christmas. You found peace when you went to vacation to visit your paternal grandparents.
Right.
Okay. When did you move to Florida?
When I was 16,
Okay.
I
Yep.
got tired of I got tired of the alcohol, my grandmother's alcohol problems, and decided I wanted to be full time in Florida with my grandparents.
And you did that, and you've been in Orlando, Florida since then, huh?
Right.
Wonderful, wonderful. Um, what about you, Nick? Who did you lean on for? Well, you just told us, kind of, you know. Well, with your mom, you told us, you know.
I think that a big part of when my mom passed away right away. Before that, like me and my sister, like my sister was in college, I was in high school. We're 2 years apart.
Uh huh.
So like we didn't have like I mean we just fought like regular teenager like
Mm-hmm.
college kids like, but like as soon as that happened, there was like a whole other layer of our relationship that
Mm-hmm.
came out, and like overnight my sister became like a mother, an aunt, a sister, like everything to me.
Mm.
Like that, like paternal or that like motherly switch in her,
Uh huh.
just like went on,
I gotta take care of my little brother.
and she definitely became like a rock.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, my pops had to deal with losing a wife,
Right.
and that at times wasn't pretty, and that at times he wasn't the best father
Mm-hmm.
figure, and I don't blame him because you got to do what you got to do to get where you need to go. Um, and Rachel just kind of my sister was like the one for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was everything. I was lucky enough to like have a group of friends in college that was on the right path. Everybody was
Mm-hmm.
pretty much on their shit, but they also just love to have fun.
A
and
good
cut
time.
up.
Come on, you
And
know what to say.
and it's that. I mean, my dad always. I think I said this on the last podcast. I was my dad was always super strict when I was growing up on who I would hang out with, who
Mm-hmm.
he'd let me hang out with. So that habit just kind of continued. It's still continued in my life. Like my circle is small,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I think that was just one of those things where he was just preparing me for life. Because like once my mom passed away, it's easy to like fall into different things, fall into bad things, fall into other things that like you normally wouldn't do on a character like you were saying, and I had a group of friends that really just like we held each other down, and that was
Still do.
yeah, very important.
Good,
Very
good.
important.
Good message. That's a good message.
Good people, good people.
Good people, good people. You got to get a people what they want. Woo! Kaden, you heard that? Pick and choose those friends wisely. It'll travel with you. It becomes a point where you don't have time to hang out with bad people because you become accustomed to the good things. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, wait a minute, I want to keep that around because you don't want to get in trouble. If you ain't never used to getting in trouble and you get in trouble, you start to look at it like, what's going on? Now you surprised, and we like, why you surprised you did that? And then accountability comes in, right? And you start have to hold yourself accountable, and it's no longer mom holding you accountable. It's the law.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna get older. You know, so I love that message that you just gave. Like his dad instilled it in him, and he kept it even after he got older and in college and everything. So he had no time to mess up because everybody was around him was doing right. So you want to be that oddball because you become that oddball. I don't want to hang out with you.
Correct.
You can't come around with what we're doing because you might mess up what we got going on. So I love that. I love that. You talked a little bit about your grieving process, Dr. Carr. You didn't really agree. Who was there to support you? Who was?
You know, again, I was a different person back then. So I actually refused. No, I refused all support. I didn't want anybody to ask me how I was doing. The other side of that same coin, I remember getting upset with everybody that nobody was checking up on me. So, right. So I remember getting mad at my dad because I feel like he didn't call me enough. I remember getting mad at my siblings because I feel like, I didn't flew into St. Louis. I didn't, pay for everything. I didn't, handle the whole arrangements and everything. Like I flew in that morning, stopped by my sister's house. They were all crying, didn't want to be there. Went to my grandma's house, picked her up, like, hey, let's go to a funeral home, and just got right into it. Got right into it. Did all that, flew home. Was mad. Well, I kind of was mad that I had to do all that, but I really didn't have to do all that. And I really, as time went by, I was glad that I could do all that. That was the last thing I could do for my mom, and I did it. I think I did a good job. I think she would be proud. From going to buy the dress to ordering jewelry, so that she'll look nice, and having she wore a wig, but I had the wig done.
Don't do her. Let her be great.
Here,
She's resting beautifully. Okay.
Funny story. My mom she looked. She was beautiful, but she always wore her hair a different kind of way, and we thought she had a bunch of different wigs. Come to find out, it was the same one. So we up here looking for all these hair pieces in her house, only to find out that she had just been styling the same one, all different kind of ways. So my auntie,
come on now,
took it and styled it up in it because she had her hair was actually just like yours is right now. And like there's a picture of her like the day before she passed away in the hospital. She had like her like that, but my grandma was like, no, we want her to look how she usually looks. So my auntie went and got those braids, put the hair on top of it, and she looked beautiful. But I remember like initially being upset and then not having very much support at all because I was so focused on not focusing on it. And it was just, and the bad thing about that, just so people know, the bad thing about doing it like how I did it, it constantly shows up. You try so hard not to focus on it, and then it just pops up. I remember like being in it's this place to sell like bubble tea. Being in the drive-thru, right? And then my mom loved Prince and the Alley Brothers, and then the Prince song come on, and I'm trying to order this food, and I'm just bawling. Or I'll be on my way to work and then just be bawling. I'll be at a stoplight and just like cries, like, dang, when am I gonna get past this part? But man, like you have to find the support like right when it happens, man. Don't try to do it your own because that was uncharted territory. Like I had never lost anybody that was that close to me, so I didn't know how to do it. But having gone through that, I would strongly suggest that after losing someone that close to you, as close as a parent, seek help because essentially, no matter the situation or the circumstances surrounding the death, my mom died. It wasn't sudden like she had a heart attack, and then the next day, they put a stent in her heart. She was good. She FaceTimed me, which she never does, and she was like, I'm going home." And then went home, and then the night she passed away. So it was kind of sudden because they told me she was all right. Because I was like, I should have flew down here right then.
Right.
But they kept saying, "Oh no, you have to come. She'll be good." And to be honest, rewind it a little further back. My mom was very dramatic, very dramatic. So when they told me she had a heart attack, I'm like, girl, no, she didn't. No, she didn't. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of dealt with that. I had a little bit of regret for not coming initially, and then, but yeah, seek the support. Because I tell people what I learned, and then now I tell people is that no matter what the circumstances is surrounding the death of a close loved one, whether it's your parent, a spouse, somebody who
Grandparent,
your grandparent, you held in high regard. It's like a robbery. Yeah, you become a victim of something. Something was taken away from you.
Listen.
You have to grieve that. And I wish I would have done that, man. But I'm in a much better place now. But and I don't want to hijack this part, but it affected me. I became super toxic. I became very clingy to my spouse, like just to try to fill that void that I thought I was missing. So it showed up in every area of my life that I thought it wouldn't show up in, and I really. Because I was raised by my grandma and my dad, but I didn't know it would affect me like that. So it showed up, and I was kind of surprised how much it affected me because I had always thought it wouldn't affect me as much as it did. So that's just this is my part.
It's funny you say that part you just said. I thought it wouldn't affect me, right? Because my great grandmother passed away. Since you said that in May of 2023. And I was victimized. You would have thought everything happened to me because you can't take Miss Ramsey from me, right? And I woke up crying 2 days ago, actually. Had a dream, and I woke up bawling because she's not here. And it's so hard to deal with. And I always said, she'd be like, the old lady's still breathing, at 91, 92, her going on a road trip with me to Indianapolis when she was like 88, 89, and I was like, Grandma, I'm going before you, Grandma, and I ain't gonna make it without you, Grandma, Oh, you gonna be, girl, what I'm saying, and I was like, nah, I'll be good, she old, I'm like, nah, Grandma, but she moving, she on that bike, Angel, I'm working out with, like you, I'm 35,
right.
30, I'm about to be 37, she was on a bike 2 days before she had her heart attack or whatever, so she always said, but I just thought I would be okay. You know what I'm saying? Nick checked on me constantly. Like my mom had to I went into a depressive state for about a month and some change. And I didn't want to talk to nobody. I wasn't answering my phone. I didn't know what to say. Everybody was reaching out. Everybody was, and slowly but surely I started answering because I knew I needed support. Natalia everybody had talked to Big Mama. Everybody. Natalia had talked to her before, whether it was 10 years ago. Everybody had talked to Big Mama. And so everybody was calling me like, wait, yo, you know what I'm saying? But before she passed away, like she would always talk to me. And she called me at about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. Big Mama call, I'm answer. Right? My phone going, do not disturb at about 8:30 at night. Don't call me. I'm in the bed.
Straight up.
But she called me. But she said, keep helping the children. And she started crying. She was like, I'm proud of you. She listened to the podcast.
All right.
So when she passed, my big mama in Memphis she told me, she said, mama, your mama would not be wanting crying like that. You know what she wants you to do. And so it's like, I felt like a piece of me was just ripped out, you know what I'm saying? And I was just, but I had figured it out, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, and I still ain't figured it out, but I figured it out.
Right.
Because I'm older and this is what I do for a living. But like I just told somebody today, we're all human.
Yep.
We're all human. I don't care how much training I got or anything else. If it hits you, it hits you.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? This Dr. Carl, he teaches people how to deal with grievance, the process, but he's got to go through it too. We're all human. No, I just wanted to share that, and thank you for sharing that. Natalia, did I ask you about any coping strategies? Did you have any coping strategies? What did you do?
I tried to envision what my mom would say to me.
Would say to
You
you?
know, what she would say to me.
Uh-huh.
My mom was always trying to encourage me to look for uh, like not to lose my faith in the church, to always seek for God's guidance, to
Uh-huh.
always believe in myself. She was sick, so she knew that time would come. So she kind of
Mm-hmm.
prepared me, and I was the oldest sister, so she said, I need you to be there for you and your sister, you know.
And I'm glad
So
you go ahead. Go ahead.
in the hardest days, I would remember those words.
And
And
that's
then,
ooh, I love it. That's why I do
on
what I
the
do.
on
I wanna. That's what I do. What I do, Natalia. You just said that your situation was different, and at 10, you had to remember what she prepared you for.
mhm.
At 10 years old,
Mm,
and you didn't have therapy. You had to go to move from New York to Puerto Rico. You being split between grandparents in Florida and Puerto Rico. You dealing with a stable
mhm.
house. You dealing with alcoholism over here. There wasn't no therapy back then. Cause Natalia, you older than me. I'm yeah. So we talking about the early '90s, right?
Mhm.
We yeah. So therapy, all those things. You came up with coping strategies for yourself.
Right.
You
So I was
created your own
16.
way. Say
So I
that.
was 16, and then my godmother,
Uh huh.
she said, "No, we gonna because everybody needs someone to help them sort out
Uh huh.
their feelings and their thoughts, and the hardest thing to accept, in my experience, was accepting that they were gone. You know,
Mhm.
and for a child, it's really hard. It's really hard.
Big time.
Um, but once you learn to accept with like with every grievance, right? Once
Mhm.
you learn to accept, then things start to you
Maybe falling in
tolerate
place.
this. It starts falling in place exactly.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm. You can't suppress your feelings.
That's the truth.
Dr. Carl said something earlier, which is very important. Seeking help is very important because sometimes we think we're okay and we're just suppressing. And there's always things in life
Mm-hmm.
that will resurface those
Some
feelings.
more heat.
No, you will get
Becoming
triggered,
a
baby.
parent, becoming a parent is one of them,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
in my experience. When my grandmother recently passed away in 3 months, 3 months ago,
Mm.
that was another reason.
Yep.
Mm.
So always seeking guidance and help.
So much so that every time, like there shortly after that, every time somebody else passed away, I could literally not know them. Like I would grieve like I knew the person. I'd be in there crying like that was people, like literally, because like it'll just trigger that feeling. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I would be able to relate to them in that way. You're like, it's rough, man. It's crazy.
Like you have to tell them.
When
Whew, it's hard.
when you lose someone at a very young age, a lot of times in my experience, that's like one of your biggest fears is to lose someone you love.
Cause you. Yep. Yep. Yep.
And it stands in the way of a lot of things later on in life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's good to reach out because you got to learn how to deal with
Hmm.
it so that way later on you're more equipped for it. Not saying life will be perfect because hell, at 36, I went crazy when my grandma passed away. I struggled with losing Big Mama,
Hmm.
and she was. And the thing is, I had to realize she was 93. She used to talk to me about the
Hmm.
civil rights movement, the whole.
She's seen it.
She's seen
She's seen it.
everything that I love to talk about, and I look at history and stuff like that. Big Mama she saw all of it.
Firsthand.
Okay,
Firsthand.
read the
Front
paper,
row.
looked at the news, and would tell me when I'm in Florida or wherever state I'm living in, Angel, Grandma, what you talking about, girl? Yeah, Grandma, Grandma, Grandma she'd tell me what's going on in St. Louis before I knew.
Mm-hmm.
She'd tell me when somebody passed away, and she'll say it with ease. Well, I just lost my granddaughter. Who, Grandma? That's my cousin. Who just passed away? You know, so and so's baby. She could tell you all her,
Mm-hmm.
but she was a Jehovah Witness. She was like, Jehovah will get through. We'll
Mm-hmm.
get through this. It's okay. She was just, and I'm like, here I am crying when she passed away. I'm like, Grandma, I'm gonna get it together. I be talking to her. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
Grandma, I'm gonna get it together, Grandma. I know you don't like this. I know you don't want me crying. I wake up in the middle of the night a couple days ago, and I was like, oh my God, Angel, get it together, get it together. She don't want this. It's like the same time each time.
Yeah, but you're still human though.
Correct. You know what I'm saying? But I be like, I get up and I get it together, drink some water, whatever, and I lay back down or whatever. And you would never know me coming on here talking about this episode, you would have never known that I had a breakdown 2 nights ago, or actually 2 weeks ago. Also, you know what I'm saying? You would never know. But I'm human, and I accept them when they come. So, but yeah. Anybody else got any special strategies that you use, or if you had to figure it out, like Natalia had to figure it out? You got any strategies that you use, Nick?
As soon the day after my dad passed away. So when my dad passed away, he was diagnosed with the bone marrow cancer like 4 years prior. And every year they were like, well, we got this, and this treatment, and it was just like, we're just gonna keep throwing shit at it until it sticks. And he went like almost a year and a half in remission, and then it popped back up. But in between then, you know, my dad's always had like not the best health. So when I moved back to St. Louis, one of the main reasons I moved back was to be around, because I knew he wasn't gonna be here forever. When I moved back, the first month I moved back, he had a mini stroke right in front of me. Had to call the ambulance. Like, I had a job prior where I had like a little bit of like emergency traumatic training, so like I kind of knew how to go through the process with that and get the right people there. But that was very traumatic, hella traumatic. Seeing like hella traumatic. Probably the most traumatic thing I've ever seen directly in front of me. And then 2 weeks later, we're at dinner, and he had a pacemaker. His heart went into this thing called VTAC, and that drops people in their steps. He had a pacemaker, so luckily it zapped his heart back into. So like we literally saw him dive for like 15 seconds and come back. So 2 very, very traumatic situations, and I didn't deal with it. The way I dealt with it was I told him that I recognize those are really, really traumatic things. I can't be with you alone.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
It's good, but the one thing that now looking back, and I've gone to therapy and talked about this extensively. This thing is, I regret that, because that was time that I could have spent with him, that I shut off to myself. Eventually, I know that is the right thing to do, but didn't go to therapy about any of those things.
Oh, you mean you can't be with him alone?
I couldn't be with him alone, like just me and him, because I thought that like something bad would happen, and I would be sitting here with my father.
So you just wouldn't go. So you just wouldn't go.
Yeah, so I couldn't be with him alone. It would just have to be
like.
Oh,
I thought you meant like
it would have to be me and like the family together.
And that would stop. Oh my goodness.
So like
okay.
I regretted telling him that, because that hurt him a lot. And it was just one of those things where like sometimes what people weaponize mental health, and I think in that time I weaponized it against him, and it hurt him a lot, and I didn't recognize it, but I was doing what I thought I had to do to protect myself in the time being. But so fast forward to the day after my father passed away, immediately my sister had she went and talked to a therapist and goes, yo, I think you'll really like this therapist, just give it a shot. Because being in New York, I went and I talked to at least 5 different therapists before I found a good one. Hit it off the bat immediately with this therapist. This therapist was amazing.
Male or female?
She was female.
One. How are the women?
Amazing. She like the best thing that she did was she just got you talking. And we just kind of whittled away at what was going on until I could get myself to that point. But I had to go to therapist for my dad to walk all the way back to my mom.
Yep.
Because there's so much trauma and so many things, and it goes into everything in your life.
Yes,
everything that you don't realize until someone like talks with you about it. You get triggered, or you're with the therapist and they're like, oh, hey, you know what? You weren't mad because of that. You were mad because you don't trust people.
There you go.
Because
there you go.
This person left prematurely in your life, you think. And there were so many things that I was like, wow, this is why I did this. Dating, holy, like, all this stuff, like, just like, it's the getting in and talking to somebody that you can trust and you can and you can be super vulnerable with. Because if you go into therapy and you don't allow yourself to go there, then you're not doing anything. You're just wasting money.
Wasting time. Money and time.
So I had to go to therapy for my dad to dog walk back to my mom's stuff and a lot of that stuff. So that was the main coping. Still a work in progress because there's a lot, but it's just talking and then allowing yourself to actually feel. Yep. That was a big thing for me. Is like I didn't really take anything off when my mom passed away. It just kind of was like, this sucks. Like, I'm around family. Then I was around friends in college, and it just kind of life just keeps chugging. But this one, I wanted I just wanted to feel it. As raw as it felt, as happy as it felt, as mad as it felt, as angry as it felt, as hot as it felt, I wanted to feel everything. And I allowed myself to feel everything. We shut down Slices for 3 weeks. I would have shut it down for a whole month if I'd have employees that I had to pay. I just wanted to feel everything. And like, if I would have gone straight back to work, it would have just been under the rug. I'd be like, I'm going to therapy. It's okay. But like taking off a substantial amount of time to breathe and to feel, that was big. That was, I'm still like processing everything and going through things and seeing how it's popping up. And I'm never going to be done like grieving my dad because like my dad was my dog.
Yep.
Not that I didn't love my mother, but I was a child.
Yeah.
It's just, I will never be able to unearth all that. But I say that like, my mom's death was easier for me to go through than my dad's because I just didn't face anything with my mom's. I just kept it pushing. My dad's, I wanted to feel everything in my face, as deep and as hard and as hurtful and as grateful and joy and all. I wanted to feel all of it.
You know, I'm the kind of person I like to haven't experienced, like I said, my mom. I try to emotionally cue myself up for a lot of things. It's my way of trying to control or self-preservation, so to speak. You know, the funny thing is I had never in my life imagined losing my mom. I'd imagined losing my grandma. I imagined losing my dad. Imagine losing maybe, a few other people. Never, ever crossed my mind that my mom would pass away. I mean, it just never did. So now I try to, and my dad and I have a lot of the conversations, in preparation, and that doesn't make it easier. But I'm like, I have to cue myself up because I know my dad's getting older, my grandma's getting older. So it's like, I try to emotionally cue myself up by trying to understand that, things will happen and that the more you prepare for them, it'll make it easier. And I know all of that will be out the window if I get a phone call. I know it. I know it.
That was my same process too. It's like all the things I explained that happened to my dad.
Right.
He was diagnosed with cancer that wasn't curable. Like they told him that this will eventually get you, and I knew all that. I saw all those things, and I was like, all right, I got a head start on seeing life without him and how that will feel. Nope.
Yep.
Still got you.
Man, look here.
Because it's like nothing is going to hurt as much as that.
Oh, my
Ding
Nothing
dong.
will hurt as much as that.
You can't get away from it.
Nothing will hurt as
Welcome
much as
to
that.
life.
Nothing.
Because I sure couldn't get away.
Death and taxes.
Dang.
Caden, I'm going to ask you because, so you're 13. Your father, your mom told you your father passed away, car accident, and you were able to just move on because, you said he was in and out of jail, so he wasn't really around. He wasn't really in your life. If it was your mother, it would be a whole different story. So I'm going to skip and ask you, because we talked about it a little bit earlier, what challenges do you face while trying to balance day to day? Going day to day, what are some personal challenges that you have, that you recognize?
Probably like more like the man side, like going through like manly business. Like sometimes everything that a man go through, you can't talk to that with your mama because
There you go.
it's like it feel weird sometimes.
Navigating becoming a young man, going through puberty. Got you.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yes. What else? What about your anger? What about your temper? Like, what are those things? You talked about those a little bit earlier.
Sometimes well, all the time. Like I got like if somebody like basically, I got a short temper, right?
Uh huh.
But like I don't know, like I can control it, but like if somebody push me enough, like it'll go, all that it'll go out the window, and then I like
So trouble
it's
self containing
yeah.
things of that nature, controlling your temper. Like but you recognize you have a short temper. You don't you get angry. You don't know where it comes from or anything of that nature, and you have no one guiding you or helping you. You know, having those conversations with you, and then becoming a man. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I got a question for you. Do you feel like, and I know this is probably, I know the answer to this question. Do you feel like you one probably been robbed of an experience, a life experience, two, or missing out? Do you feel that way?
What you mean?
Having not,
Without having your dad,
Mhm.
do you feel like you were robbed of a life experience, whereas Nick had his dad his own
yeah.
life?
I was like, it was like I be seeing like a lot of people like with their dad, do stuff and stuff, and it was like, dang, he got his daddy, I don't got mine. So
Do you think that triggers? See, I don't want to turn this into that.
No, let's
But
talk
do you
to him. Go
feel
ahead.
like that triggers? That's one of the things that play into your uncontrolled temper. Sometimes is you feel that you received the short end of the stick, and that somehow make you feel
well,
anger.
I feel like sometimes like you said like how you just like when like it's like when my daddy died, I just left alone, but it's still like in my mind. So sometimes that do come back up, and then it like just like I go through that sometimes. Like
Yeah.
somebody say the wrong thing, well, then I snap. Like it was just like out of nowhere.
Yeah. So I mean, it's one of those situations like, because now you have a button on your back, right? And I don't want to do this, but you have a button on your back. So anybody who know you, who want to piss you off, who want to get to you emotionally, they know what that button's going to be. And for you and for a lot of people, it's that thing that they're missing, right? So I mean, man, and we probably have to really handle that off air. But I mean, you really need to deal with that, like in a major way, because you're doing good now. Obviously, you've decided to go in a different direction after having gone through those issues. But other stuff can come up later on that could make that button a little bit more exposed and make it larger and easier to be pushed. So, man, you're strong one, dude. Yeah, you're strong. I think he could benefit from it.
I told him already. Don't worry. You do your part. We'll do ours. Welcome to the Angels Online, sir. Thank you for sharing it. Thank
Very
you.
good.
Appreciate
Very
it.
good.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I love it. Day to day. Anybody else go through things day to day? Well, everyone here is more adults. But there might be day to day challenges that could go on with the loss of a parent. Like Nick's an entrepreneur. What's your day to day like?
I'm making pizza, and like the reason why I'm making pizza is because my dad made pizza. So
Come on.
every single day, I'm reminded of my dad. But I don't like when I think every like unless it's like I go to like a bad medical thing, everything pretty much I like comes to mind about my dad day to day are good things, positive things.
Good,
Like,
good.
it's
That
like,
goes with the memories and stuff that I
listen,
have.
like,
So
like the impact it's had on me with like music and all this stuff, and like and everything that it's just a positive. I don't really think of a lot of negative stuff when I think about my dad right now. That more so was a couple of months after, just like realizing like, oh, like he's gone. That raw feeling, but like obviously you miss him, but like I just like it's just a positive thing now. Like I'm just like I want to celebrate this dude as much as I want to celebrate my wins, like because like he's just as much part of that as I am.
that's crazy because those are my next couple questions. Like just say like, how do you commemorate your parents? Like what is it? You know what I'm saying? And for you, it's like your daddy. That's your boy. He made pizzas. Every day I make
there's
pizzas.
like so many facets of my life. One of the things that like my sisters can be a little toxic. Everybody can be a little toxic. But there is one thing that she can say sometimes that'll really like just like button on my back. I'm gone. Red. If she says something like my dad wasn't great with like some like financial shit or whatever, like she'll be like, "That's some big B shit," and it's like, don't say that shit. Don't ever paint something like that negatively.
Come on,
right?
Come on.
That's a dirty, like foul, low blow, and like brother sister. Like I get it. I'm never gonna do that. But,
Cause you know how it feels.
yeah, but it's just one of those things where like, yeah, it's not needed. But other than that, everything about this, everything that I do, day to day with the business, with just in general, just trying to express myself. That was big for him, for me and for my daughter, or for Rachel, my sister. Was just like he wanted us to express ourselves. He wanted us to say what we wanted to do and do what we want to do and dress how we wanted to dress. That was his big thing. Is he wanted to make us feel comfortable in our own skin. And every day that I walk around feeling comfortable in my own skin, is 100% a tribute to my dad. My mom was like beautiful, amazing mother, but my dad was the like creative drive in my back of like, yo, you want to do this? Do it your way. Like I begged my dad when I was a kid to change my name to a junior. I wanted to be Brian Keith Williams Jr. so bad.
And then he just named you Nick.
And he was, no, this is after. This is like when I was like a kid, like 5. I was like, please, like, legally change my name. And every single time he was like, no, not doing it, never would do it. I want you to be the best Nick Williams. And I'm like, God.
That's dope.
Yeah,
That's
but
good.
like that dude was the dude.
You know, that makes sense. My sister, a couple years or maybe the next year after my mom passed away, she made a status on Facebook, which I never really considered, but it's true. She was like, because, you know, we were raised by our grandma. You know, my mom had her issues, you know, that she had came back from and she became a perfect grandparent to my sister's children. But my sister said, in death, all wrongs are made right. So, you know, my mom had issues, but I can have not one negative feeling about her. I mean, it just doesn't exist. You know, I recognize the strong and all the good that she was and all the good things that she did, all the things she did that people didn't know about. You know, my mom dealt with a lot of pressure from, you know, outside sources, like, you know, people in our family who oftentimes judged her for some of the mistakes that she's made. So she would do stuff and, you know, good stuff, you know, like, you know, me and my sister at our bus stop in the morning, you know, and
She tried to be. She was
you
a
know,
parent.
or walk us to school. And
Come on.
she didn't get credit for that. People always had something not so nice to say, but the good stuff she never got credit for. You know, I mentioned that at our funeral, and you know, and I try to say it as much as I can anytime I bring her up, all the good things, because people never knew about. You know, and I that's one thing I do regret is not you know, giving her those flowers when she was still out in front of the people who always had some negative to say about her. You know, but it's just crazy how that works. I can't think not one negative thing. You know, and I'm glad that she existed. I'm glad that she had the mistakes and she allowed the opportunities, even the negative ones at the time turned out to be positive ones. I do think though, I do miss, and I think about her every day, having my own daughter who she never got to meet, her not experiencing this level of life that I'm living now. You know, everything has changed.
Yeah.
Everything's better.
Right.
You know, she didn't get to
You know
see.
what I'm saying?
She didn't get to see this down. No, that's fact. I wish that she could see her children now. People always have something to say about Margaret's kids, and you know, but
Come on.
I wish they could see Margaret's kids now.
Come on.
You know,
Look at that bow tie.
hey, look here.
Doctor Cara.
She be very proud. You know, all the things that she because she was you know, my number one supporter, and people were, oh, he's just this kind of person, or he's doing this, and she's like, no, that's my baby, that's Nunu. But all the people who had some bad to say, oh, now.
I love it.
I could buy their life.
Come on.
I could buy their life.
Come on. Come on.
Here. And I'm not bragging.
But you better say something.
Look here. I'm just
Your mama heard you.
Hey, come on here.
Huh?
Come up here.
Natalia, what's up? What's up? Talk to me.
Hello. Hello.
How do you commemorate or remember, you know, your parents throughout your daily life, positive, whatever it is, negative, positive, whatever, if it motivates you? You know, the Angels Online, we motivate, influence, and inspire. You lost yours very young, 7 to 10. So I know your mom was a motivation, just you hearing her voice and you remembering things that she used to say to you, which was like your driving force and the way you acknowledge things, see things. When she told you, she needs you to be brave. She needs you to hold it down.
Mhm.
She needs you to be for your sister. So does that still play a role today? Especially, you probably got your son with you right now. That play a role with your son and everything else, and being a parent.
Absolutely, absolutely. I I play her favorite songs.
Come on.
I cook her favorite meals. I go to her favorite places when I have the opportunity, and I do the same for my dad.
Uh huh.
I try to hold on to those memories. I even, because as you get older, some things may fade away. So to make sure I can hold on to those memories, I write them down.
Very
Oh,
good.
there you go. Journal. Got to get you the Angels Online journal. Right in that. Yes, I love it. Journaling is wonderful, wonderful.
And you also, you remember the good, you remember the bad, and some of it you learn from it.
There you go. Experience. Use it. Use it. Use the negative as as motivation. Hey, ain't
I
no.
lost my dad to a drug overdose, and that kept me from drugs.
Come on.
Come on here.
Come on.
Come on here.
Come on. I love that. Kaden, what about
You
you?
know,
What about tell me? What about you, Kaden? Do you going through? How do you see your situation is a bit different? Your dad wasn't always around. What is your dad? What did your dad contribute that helps you out now? I don't care if it's positive or negative. You know what I'm saying? Like, talk. Let's talk about it because you're 13. This episode we connect youth and adults. What are some of the things that maybe help you day to day right now? Like Natalia said, her daddy died of an overdose and she refused to do drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Probably him. Probably because he when he died, when he was driving the car,
Uh huh.
he was like off something. He was like on some drugs or
He was
something.
high on drugs when he died.
Yeah. So like probably that like stopped like driving. Well, he was driving fast already.
Uh huh.
So then he did something, and then boom, it caused him to crash. So basically, so probably that's probably what I take from his situation. Probably not to like do stuff and then drive like that, and then that's the result of what happened to him. Like,
Doing
yeah,
drugs and driving, all of that. That's the results of it. And what about the bad people that you deal with? You know what I'm saying? You say you didn't want to end up in jail. You say you didn't want to go to jail. You don't want to do that. Yeah, that's how you choose your people. That's how you pick and choose your friends. And you changed. You told us at the beginning of the show that you changed what you were doing. You changed your behavior. You changed your outlook. You saw something different and you changed your ways and become a better young man, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you told us, right?
yes, man.
So you don't want to look at those things. So you look at those are your driving forces. That negativity didn't bring anything but negative to you, right? So now that you're better, how is day to day with you?
He probably it makes like life like easier to me.
Wonderful. It makes life easier. What do? You play sports? What are you into?
Sports,
What do you play? Come on, tell us.
football, basketball.
Good. Can you play?
Yes, ma'am.
You sure?
Yes.
All right.
Ma'am.
We gotta check on that. We'll be the judge of that.
We need receipts.
We need receipts. We need game schedules. We gotta. Don't you worry, ladies
Straight up.
online.
Straight up.
We'll check you out. Ain't that right, Mr. B? Yeah, we'll look you at. You may mess around and have some fans out there,
Come
you
on
know.
here. Hey, look.
So that positivity brings positive things, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Because you're here on the Angels Online because you changed your life. You're trying to do better things. Also, you're the oldest of how many, sir?
3,
You're the oldest of 3. Your mom has 3 children.
3 other children.
So you're the oldest of 4.
Including me.
Yes, oldest of 4, which means
You're a role model.
there you go.
You got a responsibility.
Whoa! Woo! There it is. There it is. So your mother's raising 4 boys, and do you remember what you just said to us about maybe 15 minutes ago, maybe 10 minutes ago? You said that you're having trouble going through the dynamics of becoming a man, right? So if you're dealing with that, guess who's gonna deal with it next?
My little brothers.
Your little brothers. Welcome to the Angels Online. So we're here to help navigate, get you on the right path, help your mother any way we can. Once you come on Angels Online, you stuck with the Angels Online. We got people around here. You might go visit Nikki Slices. You might go see Dr. Cara. Christmas might come for you. You know what I'm saying? Keep doing the positive things, and people will recognize and notice it.
Every time.
Again, don't lose opportunity being a butthole out here. You understand? Doing the wrong things. You miss out on opportunities because you never know who's watching you. You never know who's in your corner. You never know who you can benefit from in a positive way that will help navigate your future in the right place. Correct. You understand? It's like a GPS. We're going to navigate you in the right direction. We say go left, it's a good left. All right? You don't make the wrong turn. Wonderful, wonderful. Good job. Good job.
You gotta be quicker than that.
Look her.
You gotta be quicker than that.
Look her. Don't worry, I'm gonna get the people what they want, baby. You got to help the kids. So, losing parents. Everybody's older at this point. Katie, you're the youngest one here. Just want to wrap up. We got a couple more questions. I want to just ask. Do you have any hopes, dreams, aspirations? What do you have right now? What's on your mind? How do you see yourself continuing to navigate through life with your mom and your brothers and the family and the support you have around you, even at this table, and the teachers that you have at your school? What are your dreams and things that you're looking at?
Either sports, or probably develop a app like on the phone or something. Probably become a developer or something.
Both are possible.
Yes.
What? Come on.
Come on here.
Come on. Let me find out. Ladies and gentlemen, in the courtroom, you heard it here first. You heard it here first. Caden said he wants to play professional sports, and he does have a backup plan because he knows only a select percentage go to the majors. All right. And he said he wants to develop an app, be a web developer or something. Come on. Yeah, it's perfect. Possible. It's all about starting right now. Manufacturing, engineering, all those things. It's possible. It's possible. I love it. Wonderful, wonderful. Nikki Slices, I mean, we know what's up. What's to continue on from right now while you're sitting here right now? What's the next steps? What you looking at for the future? How we gonna keep benefiting? Making daddy and them proud.
Mm-hmm. I think more so than anything with business and Slices is just like continuing on like with the family.
Mm-hmm. Come on, you have a wonderful, beautiful niece.
I do, but I need a daughter. No, just like continuing. Just continuing with like the work that he did with me and my sister, just like using all that information and all that the energy that he gave, making us who we are, continuing that. Like a family is paramount to any kind of business that I could do, and have all that success is nothing. It
without
pales
a family, man.
That's
it.
Family.
That's it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yes, because I need mine. I got mine.
Even if they don't know how to act.
Listen.
But it is what it is.
You just gotta professionally check them.
Yeah, and will.
And respectfully. Will fast. Will fast. You can respectfully check someone. All right. Natalia.
Yes.
How do you continue to navigate through life? With the loss of two parents at a young age, 7 and 10 years old. How do you continue to navigate? How will you continue to navigate with your own child?
I try to be the best parent I can be and taking care of my health and discipline.
Good.
You need lots of discipline in every stage of your life. And I remind myself that as an adult, that's one of the things that used to keep me from trouble in my younger years too, in my teenage years, is I used to say to myself, I have to depend on someone else deciding for me. But once I get to my adult years, it falls only on me.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
So my choices and my decisions lead to my outcomes. And I don't like problems.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Period.
I like to live my best life.
Come on.
So,
you better salsa your way through life, girl.
Mm-hmm.
She can salsa, y'all. She be salsa. All right, my bad.
So I try to teach that to my children. You gotta watch your choices.
Yep.
Accountability is very important. Be careful who you trust.
Come on.
Uh, for the young man, my advice would be careful who you trust.
Mm-hmm. You, Kaden. That is good. Yes, good.
Because some people will see that you need because we do. children to lose their parents. I think everybody does, but children lose their parents. They seek for someone
Mm-hmm.
to for to, to take a little bit of that void away.
Of course they do.
Mm-hmm.
And the good people would always give you good advice to stay on a good path for good outcomes, discipline,
Mm-hmm.
good, think about today and tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
Good,
not
good,
just live in the moment.
good, good, good. She said the good people. Y'all heard she say that? The good people.
Good people.
Hmm.
Good people, good people. Woo!
Because sometimes, unfortunately, they will take situations like that and use it to their advantage,
Come
and
on.
it's not for the good
You know what to
reasons.
say. You know what to say. Give it to him, baby. Mm,
Hmm.
mm. Yes, yes. Anybody,
Keep your head high.
keep your head high,
Yeah,
young
that's good.
man.
That's valid. That's valid.
Keep your head high. Ladies and gentlemen, oh my goodness. I'm pretty sure we got a lot of qualities from the parents. Y'all got qualities, y'all got characteristics and everything else. But the thing is as adults, you've all made your own way. And you've
Hmm.
utilized your personal experience, professional experience, and professional knowledge to navigate through life, which is what the Angels Online is all about. And we connect youth and adults in open dialogue, discussing real life circumstances and situations. And today we were able to have Caden on this episode at the age of 13, holding himself down at the table. You get the same respect at the table, whatever table you at. Remember, you belong at it. Now, before we leave, ladies and gentlemen, let me let you know everybody got to give a good people, good people. But you know you can find the Angels Online at the Angels Online on Instagram, at the Angels Online on Facebook, at the Angels Online LLC on YouTube. You can email me if you got a topic that you want to hear at info@theangelsonline.org. You can go to rramsey at theangelsonline.org and just email me yourself. You can go to the website www.theangelsonline.org. Now, Natalia, leave us with a good people, please.
Good people, good people.
Okay. Dr. Carl, can you give us a good people, good people?
Good people, good people.
Ooh, there he is.
Girl, hey,
Listen.
thank you.
Kate, come on, man.
Good people, good people.
No! That's what See,
I want to try to get more bass in my voice.
Okay, you know what? Go ahead and try again, Dr. Carl.
No, I ain't gonna do it.
Yeah, because you really
I
only
can't
get
muster
one.
any more bass in my voice.
You only get one time.
I'm sorry.
Doug, just because you come in with a bow tie.
Now, now over there.
Caden gave us the business, but Nick Williams always Nicky Slices.
Good people. Got to get a people. Good people, good people. Then dicks.
Listen, and you know what I'm gonna leave you with, baby. Good people. You got to get a people what they want. Woo! The Angels Online. The Angels. Hey!